Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the ASUS AIoT Podcast. Today we have Enrico Giannotti, and we will discuss about what they're doing in the space of law enforcement conferencing. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Right, and the first question, we typically start with something more personal to get to know you. Did you know that you would end up doing tech? Did you already know that early on?
Not really, indeed. Basically, when I was in the moment of the decision about my studies after high school, I was not considering at all any engineering or computer science or technical studies like this, since I was more interested on the management of the companies, and therefore I started my studies in economics, and this is my degree. My first job was into a context of ICT at that time. So at that time there was this sector which was together information, communication, technology, which is now quite divided between telecommunication and IT, information technology. And therefore I started my first job in telecommunication, mobile, Telecom Italia Mobile in Italy, where I'm native from, and then also in the fixed landline telecommunication with another company, a UK company. But that was exactly the starting point, and from that time in any way, I was really very close to what then happened during these 30 years, starting from the internet coming in our lives, and then whatever happened with the developments in this sector, telecommunication and technology, which is really very, very close.
Yeah.
Therefore, there is a background which is anyway very close to the technology. Meaning, they're talking about IoT, for instance, which for you and for now means Internet of Things. At that time was, for me, in telecommunication, inter-operator tariff. So now, and then you have also to use different acronyms and changing in the sectors. Yes, but this is where I started.
Okay. And going into the company, Cabolo, can you explain a little bit of what problem are you solving for people?
Yeah, Cabolo is the end, let's say, of an experience which is now 40 years old, not of myself, of course, but of the company that after my experiences in telecommunication, I joined 18 years ago. And this company, which is a CEDA 35, is a company that is focused and since the beginning in producing and solving issues related to day-to-day activities into the communication, professional communication, documentation sector industry. And therefore, Cabolo is the mix of an experience in this sector for doing reporting of assemblies, of committees, of board of directors, which at the beginning was made manually. And now, which is thanks to the developments in the technology, is everything into this solution, which is a combination of hardware, software, and knowledge of what are the peculiarities, the needs of a specific sector that needs to be addressed together from a solution like this.
And as you said, it takes a lot of domain knowledge in order to have the accurate type of translation, transcribing, which is an accumulation, right, of different experience.
Yeah, it's because it's not just a matter of accuracy itself, but it's a matter to have this technology to be useful for the end user. Our approach since the beginning, since we come from the ground, we come from the specific job, there is a deep knowledge of what is needed to be addressed to help really the job. And all our solutions are human-centered. So what we try to do is to define and design solutions, applications, which can help humans. And this is an approach that is still winning, since at the moment, whatever we are providing is already designed to answer specific needs. And also our end users, as soon as they realize and they understand what we do with our solution, understand that they are not, these solutions are not going to replace that work, they work, but is going to support and to help to do it better and faster.
And currently, so just to illustrate more before the audience, can you give us a few examples of what use cases, where can people find Cabolo solutions?
Since the company is now 40 years old, and there are several use cases, and which are very at high level. But if I have to select some of them, I would say the European Parliament experience, where we developed for them the tool for the transcription and translation in 24 languages, which is intended to improve the accessibility to the committees, to all the discussion that happen in the Parliament, where in the European Parliament there are official languages, but anyway, the countries belonging, the nations belonging to the European are 24, with 24 different languages. Therefore, it is not expected that a citizen from a country must know the official language. The tool is intended to provide in the original national language whatever is discussed in the Parliament. And another very important project that we have developed is Cabolo itself. Cabolo was born 7 years ago and came from the need to start taking care of privacy and security of data. While there was the trend of bringing a solution towards the cloud, but cloud means sharing your data. Sharing with the provider of the service. Good provider, having good service, but anyway, to share the data. On the other side, there are several sectors where this data cannot be shared, but they have the need to address a specific task. Cabolo is and was the answer to this need. And the success of Cabolo is exactly the capability to provide very accurate, enhanced AI solution, but with a device which works completely offline.
And how many languages can you manage? Because 24 for the European Parliament, but how many in total do you have?
In total, we have more than 40.
Okay. And also going into the nuances of slang and accents and different kinds of expressions throughout these languages, right?
That is the challenge. This is the challenge of being in the business of the language, taking care of the different languages, not written, but spoken.
Wow.
And with spoken languages, it's much more difficult because there are the dialects, there are the accents. The English, for example, as an example, English spoken by British is different from Americans, but they are native, and that's fine. But English spoken from all the other not native is a different country by country. My English is, as I mentioned last year, spaghetti English because of Italian, but the French one is different, the German, and so on. And this is the challenge for us, for our team, to take care of these different nuances and to provide solutions which are able to manage these peculiarities.
Okay, so going into a little bit of success cases, could you mention one case that is very symbolic for you?
There are plenty. I would say there are plenty, and since we are proud of this, since the history of the company Challanges is the history of a company that was born not in the most rich area of Italy, and not in the area, in any Silicon Valley, but it is in a region where the main business is tourism. We have great beaches. Great food, but not great technologies. Therefore, from a small company in a context where there is almost nothing in terms of this, we have these we had this capability to work in this sector and achieve contracts with the European Parliament, Italian Chamber of Deputies, other government and sectors. And the last one is a quite important project since we are talking about law enforcement and justice, for a partner in Croatia for providing a solution for digitalizing and innovating all the courtrooms from the Croatian Minister of Justice. So this is a really quite important project and a high-level achievement of the application of this solution.
Yes, congratulations. And then I think we can go a little bit into the technical aspect, if you may, but we don't need to really become technical. Just what are the features that users find in Cabolo that make them unique?
Yeah, first of all, more than a feature is how it works, which is offline. And again, since we are talking about AI, artificial intelligence, this kind of technology today is mostly available on the cloud. ChatGPT, any Microsoft solution, any other, you access a web page, easy, straightforward, but data, voices, images, everything is then stored and used also to teach these engines to work better and to provide new solutions. For maybe consumer market, this is maybe acceptable.
Yes.
My opinion is that people neither know this and don't care. But in the professional sector, it's much different. Therefore, Cabolo as a standalone solution offline is the first important aspect of the solution itself. There are the capabilities to address some needs. Reporting, we say, accessibility with real-time subtitles and captioning, real-time translation, summarization, extraction of topics, understanding of huge amount of content in documents. All these features, together with all the new features we are working on, are those appreciated from the customers that have really operational tasks to perform, and where they cannot go and use a cloud solution, but have to work completely offline. And at the moment, the alternative is almost the time to do it manually. There is a human-intensive work, very slow, takes a lot of time, is inefficient, and more, even public administration companies invest their money not into secretary jobs, but into innovation, IT jobs.
Yes.
More and more, this kind of activities are needed to be managed in a different way. And Cabolo is addressing this need.
I just remembered, so I want to address this first before we go to the next about the company's future. The name. I remember it has a very interesting origin, right? Yeah. Could you explain a little bit?
Yeah, Cabolo, it's easy, by the way. So the aim on our side was to look for an identification of this solution with a name which was neither masculine nor feminine, which was professional, and which was in some ways related to what to do, without becoming a too technical logo. And our agency, which was really good, came with a short list of names, and one of them was Cabolo. At the beginning, personally, I was not considering Cabolo because Cabolo in Italy and Italian is a word that is very close to another one, which is a cavolo, with Cavolo instead of Cabolo. And cavolo is cabbage. Yeah, it's a vegetable. And it's also in Italian is a way, an exclamation to say "che cavolo," or to say something like this. But apart from this, it was interesting that in pronounced in English, in French, in Spanish, that was pronounced easy to pronounce. But what is the origin? At the end, cabolo comes from vocabolo. So is which is word, is a synonym of word. Without deleting the first two letters, it became cabolo. And also around cabolo, there is this logo, which is the circle. That is to say, everything is closed. Everything is is not open to anybody. Is closed. Is close to you, and that's why we went and decided to go with cabolo.
And I have to add that whenever I go to trade shows and I see your booth, and whenever I see your product, it has great design and probably the Italian spirit. But I really and you are using the ASUS, one of the ASUS product, the ASUS NUC, which is small form factor device. But you really managed to use the design to be really consistent with your company image.
Yeah, absolutely. So it fits very well, and there are several aspects where we match it. And first of all, the computing part, of course, because we have to be focused first of all on the capabilities and then on the design. Likely, we were on the right path to have together power computing and design. And we have been always working on the NUC platform because it was providing us the stability, the power computing needed to run our algorithms and softwares, and also we had also the demonstration time by time of the developments that are going towards and we're going and are going towards what we need for providing more solutions, for providing more services to our customers. We need power computing locally. Therefore, what ASUS is providing goes exactly into this direction, and I hope it can continue like this, since what is needed is exactly performances, design, and stability, reliability.
And I think that it's really when I think of your solution, it really is the ultimate example, I would say, of what we're trying to achieve under this partner alliance program that we are running in ASUS AIoT, is the idea of making a solution end to end. Of not having to ask the customer to go and then evaluate, test a bunch of different hardware and but instead offer something that is out of the box, plug and play.
And for us, the NUC platform gives these answers. It's portable, it's powerful, gives us as developers of the solution the flexibility to work and to develop, and it gives also the possibility to end user to have a physical device, easy to use, that can provide an answer to the needs. Then, of course, there are also the other scalable solutions that can go based on the similar platforms, but this is absolutely the starting point, which is our key success.
And going into a little bit of the future of the company, where do you see the trend? Is there a goal that you're trying to achieve in terms of direction?
Now, our future is driven, of course, from what AI, as soon as this phenomenon like ChatGPT, so virtual assistants, Copilot, came to the market and now are accessible to most all of the people, are bringing as solutions. But again, with the compromise that you have to use the cloud.
Yes.
Okay. At the moment, we are working on two levels to provide offline same capabilities of what is available online, and also to be able to customize and provide this solution to be as close as much as close possible to the real needs of the operational at operational level. Because at the moment, what we have on the cloud is what the providers provide to us. On the other side, there are the specific needs of us professional organizations, which may be partially addressed by the cloud solution, or are not, for instance, do not have the possibility to be integrated with other platforms, with other equipments. That's why now Cabolo is going much more towards to be an intelligent AV machine. That is to say, artificial intelligence, the intelligent part, already applied, integrated, and capable to interoperate with equipments like cameras, like microphones, whatever is an equipment which is available in the board of director room, in a parliament, in a committee, in a broadcast, wherever there is a professional setup where the AI must be integrated. A Cabolo keeps already everything at hardware and software level to be easily integrated into these systems.
Hopefully, like as you mentioned, we can continue to be part of this journey with Cabolo of developing the next generation of your solutions and accompanying with more compute, right? Powerful compute.
Yeah, that's what we need, easily.
Last question, which is, I think, the most interesting one as well, is regarding predicting the future, which is never easy, but let's try it. So imagine we are 50 years from now. The world has changed in many aspects, as we are seeing today, no? And I think that many times we don't even understand the impact until much later, right? You can think of any aspect in life, professional, personal. What has changed and how? And how is technology being used there?
Yeah, basically, the first thing that comes to my mind on this is what is really happening and what I think needs really to be addressed, which is all the ethics behind whatever is happening. More and more, artificial intelligence, apart from the people involved in this business, from the housewife, let's say, or people on the road, is seen most of the time as an enemy, as a threat to the humans, because it can be replacing some jobs.
Yeah.
Can be something that also is changing the way the society, the way people interact each other is changing. So in 20 years, what it can happen? Can happen that this is really going to be really true. In 20 years' time, maybe it will be good to keep always in mind and maybe highlight what is the human part that is still the real part that all of us, the humans, have to keep. And artificial intelligence, machines, technology must be a support. Therefore, my wish in 20, 30 years is that we are not in a world which everything is managed without having records, without having memory, without having very slow and tight relationship, but where still all the humans aspects of us are still there, and technology is something that only helps, and this is not a threat or an enemy towards to us.
Yes, hopefully that is what happens.
But it is part of our job. We have to do this, yes, and we have to control. So the main part is also to define how humans have to control this for the for becoming something that is in the interest of humans to have and not to lose the control.
Yeah, and I think that since AI became widespread, I think Europe is also quite conscientious about this topic, right? So hopefully it becomes...
And the balance is between being conscious, but otherwise not stop this, but control.
Exactly. Okay, so hopefully that happens and we can sit down again and talk about it.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.